it's more so like if you don't, you'll never experience freedom. I feel like if you're always like uh, thinking that it's not achievable. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll never, especially if somebody's telling you.
Hold
like,
up, back up. That was a gym. That was.
You know what I'm saying? Like
You'll never. I need to.
Tim Westwood. Don't say it,
Drop
bro.
some clues balls for them. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Caffeine and Creatives. I am your host, X. Sitting down with me to my right today, special guest, producer extraordinaires, plural, because it's two of them. Don't look them directly in the eyes because, yeah.
But I know what's gonna
happen. What is it? The duo. What is it? Dynamic duo. Dopenorteria.
What's up?
How y'all feeling?
Good, man. Can't complain.
Y'all made it. Y'all made it back. Should we tell them what happened to the first episode?
Get a backstory.
So we're here again. So like we're here again. So for those of you, and I'm gonna keep them up. For those of you who've seen the clips on social media, which that clip went up.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, dog. That hurt because I was like, this is like original audio. There's no background music on it or anything. Yeah. Like so, the views like it wasn't like there was a trending audio or something on it or something like. It got like 8,000 views on my Instagram story.
That's
like, crazy. So we were here before. I had a little situation. Long story short, we don't have it anymore. I'll stay tuned for the full explanation of that because I'm gonna let y'all in and let y'all know why we're here again. But thank you guys for coming back out.
Definitely, bro.
I was sitting there thinking about all of the episodes I had already recorded. I was like, God, some of the people like not even in town. I caught them on the cusp type thing. Ari Kaya actually. I still have her episode because it was on my Google Drive, so I'm gonna drop hers. That was my saving grace for sure. But yeah. Today we just gonna talk about you guys. I like to talk creativity. I like to talk about real life. I'm trying to make Caffeine and Creatives a very like leisure. It's Caffeine and Creatives, like coffee talk, coffee table talk.
I got you.
What do you talk about at the coffee table? It's like my version of barbershop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it's like I grew up. Most people don't know. A little backstory on me. Like my first job I ever had was sweeping floors at the barbershop.
Oh, for real? So you got the game.
So it's like I came up like in the barbershop. My best friend swept floors at his dad. His dad owned 2 barbershops. I worked at Mr. Mac's barbershop. He worked at his dad's barbershop. We used to meet at the Pizza Hut in the middle for lunch. Walk there.
I saw her.
Like Mr. Mac was like strict. He was like one of those people like if your pants got belt loops, you gotta have a belt on. My shirt had to be tucked in every day.
Even if it was like a t-shirt or something?
It don't matter. Like shirt tucked in. If your pants got belt loops, you gotta have a belt on. That was like his thing every time. So to this day, like I tell y'all, see, I'm like, if your pants got belt loops, you need to have a belt on. Okay, like, but they got the elastic on the inside. Like they got belt loops. You need to have a belt on. But yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself for people that don't know. Who is Dopenorteria? How did y'all get here? Why are we having this conversation?
You want to go first? Since I came out first, you can go first. All right.
Not since I came out first.
You still
They're twins, by the way.
You gonna pull that over my head? Every 2 minutes, the rest of my life.
Every 2 minutes.
But
every 2 minutes.
So Dopenorteria, we used to be 3 of us. Shout out to Wavy Leachy. But yeah, it used to be 3 of us. We started in college. As far as like the Dopenorteria name and branding, started in college. Like I said, it was 3 of us, and then from there, we kind of just start dabbling with different artists. We got a manager, stuff like that. Created our own shows and curated our own shows around Atlanta, stuff like that. And then, yeah, now we just here trying to trying to figure out other avenues to kind of explore via music and all that stuff. So I don't know if you want to give like the back story. But. Oh yeah, I mean, so I guess going back to childhood, we take it back that far. So around like 5 years old, our dad kind of started us off. Shout out to Vincent Washington, that's our pops. He started us off playing drums and stuff like that. So we used to have like little jam sessions in the basement and stuff like that. He'll be on the keys and then we'll be on the drums, whatever, just switching off. So it started there. And once we got around like the age of 10, he started to kind of show us how to like produce a little bit of a program. We was using like Reasons, like 1 or 2 or something like that. The BR8 and the BR8, you know what I'm saying? We gotta
go back to the BR8. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we started on that and just kind of learning how to produce and just like I said, arrange things and stuff like that. And then fast forward, got into middle school, and we both got in the band and stuff like that. He played percussion, and then I did trumpet. I picked up trumpet. And then that went all the way to high school, and then we went to college for audio engineering, and that's when we met Chad, shout out to Leachy, and that's when we formed D&T, aka Dopenorteria. And yeah, from there we just been, like you said, curating shows, producing, engineering, arranging, mixing. Not as much no more, but mixing. So, but yeah, that's your guy right there. But yeah, so yeah, that's a little back story.
I feel it. Before I ask you what it is, how you find yourself in the pocket, what is your definition, if you have one? Define your definition of a creative. What is a creative?
Oh, so I guess it's like a saying. Well, not a saying, but I feel like a creative, dang, I don't want to say this wrong. They like experience, express, and then expose. Oh, yeah. That's
experience,
like
express, and expose.
Yeah,
I like that.
I feel like that's the perfect cycle for a creative. Like, I feel like when we went through like a little season of our lives where we was just like locked in the basement, and like, bro, we weren't going to no birthdays, no bar mitzvahs, nobody's weddings. We just locked in the basement, just doing music, and like probably like 3 months went by and we was just like burnt out. And I think it was one session where we made a beat and we was like, yeah, bro, this ain't it. Like, and even the artist, I think it might have been with Ye. He was making a beat for her. And then even she was like, yeah, y'all all right, like. Because we weren't doing nothing, like we weren't really getting out experience in life. So
and that affected the product.
Yeah, bro. So we had to kind of just reevaluate like our process and like our lives.
So say the saying again.
Dang, what did I say? Experience, express, and expose.
Okay, so y'all were missing the experience.
Yeah.
So what did you say? What would you say is your before I even ask that question, your definition of creative?
Yeah, I think it's just it's like the conversion of ideas or thoughts that you have and converting it to something that's like tangible or something that you can see, hear, taste, or whatever, however you want to like, whatever medium that you choose to use, but just getting your personal ideas out to like the world. Or it don't even have to be to the world, but just like down so that you know that, oh, I created this so that you can see it or taste it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it in like a broken down way.
Fact. So what would you say is y'all after you experience, like what are some other ways or what are some of your favorite ways outside of like what the general public probably knows you for as far as production stuff, as far as expression? Like what are some other creative like ways that you like, mediums that you like to express creatively?
That's a good question. So for me, I've only done it like twice. So I took a abstract expressionist class.
What is it? Break that down for me.
Well, so it was an art class.
Okay.
But it was
an abstract expressionist class.
It was an art class.
My nigga went to a painting fist.
Trying to make it look sound all fancy. He was just saying his phrase with that. Just turn this some wine. Nah, I'm a professional painter, but So I took an art class.
Said abstract expressionist.
So I took an art class in college. It was like an elective, whatever. And one of the periods of art that we went over was abstract expressionist. And basically it deals with like you just going with the first thought that comes to your head. Like you're not really thinking about it. You just kind of allowing your wherever your hand leads you, you just kind of going with it. So like I kind of like I kind of adapted to that concept. And so like one of my projects I had to do was I had to pick an artist that I like from that generation of art, I guess you could call it. And one of them was Jackson Pollock, and he has a very like, for instance, like say he was using this room right now to like make a piece of art. Like of course he'll have his paint and his brushes and stuff, but like he would use anything that's around him to kind of like create this canvas. And like he literally just kind of going like he don't have no type of thought out idea or preconceived anything. It's just like whatever comes out of head, I'm gonna just put it on the canvas. Like if I'm mad, I'm just gonna put it on the canvas. Like it's whatever he feels in the moment. So like he might take this coffee and just pour it on there, and then just keep painting. So like I had
That's
to,
crazy.
yeah, and it's crazy. So like I actually did a project based off of like his work, and like I went to the park. I had my paint, all this other stuff.
Mulch everywhere.
Exactly. Throw a dog.
Can I use your dog right quick?
No, but literally, like I had the paint, and I'm just like, because the way he does it, it's like a splattering type technique that he does. So I was doing that, and I see leaves, I see just somebody left a old like probably like a dog tennis ball or something out there. I got that. I threw it on there. I had adhesive and everything.
So that's what that was.
I had adhesive. Yeah, so I had adhesive to kind of keep everything down. And so like I'm literally just allowing whatever come to me. I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna do it. But then at the end of it, I was able to like come up with like a name for it because I started to see like things just kind of forming within just like the chaos of it. Because it looked crazy. Like if you just look at it from first glance, it's just like this nigga was on some LSD or something, some DMT or something. But like after I was done, I was like, oh no, this actually, and it was around the fall time too. So it was like, oh, this actually looks like a fall piece. And then I saw like a Native American like on the bottom part of it, and I wasn't even trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so yeah, so it's just like this idea of, so I guess long story short.
Thought you knew your brother, right?
so long story short, I haven't done it in a while, but like I want to get back into that.
Like, who is this man? Question though, why only twice?
It's really on me.
If that is that like, cause listening to you explain it, it's like I can see the excitement and like the freedom of it. Like, and for me, creativity is like the freedom of expression. Like for me, my like Kanye said something that like really resonated with me. Wherever that quote goes, but because I hear we talking records, but it's like all I need is to be informed and inspired. As long as I'm informed and inspired, just let me do whatever what I'm about to do. And so like for me, that's like I guess that ties into like the experience. Part. Like that's informed to me, the same situation. Right. So as long as I have information, like what is the new information? What is stuff that like not necessarily everybody knows, or something that's just like the cutting edge of technology or something. Like what's the newness? Like what's the news? Like as long as I'm informed and I'm inspired, which for me, inspiration can come from random places.
Yeah, we seen that before, bro.
Yeah. Like inspiration comes from random places. So but
I forgot the question, I'm gonna be honest.
The question was, what are some outlets, like other mediums that you use to like express your creativity outside of production and music? Because I feel like that's what we see. That's what y'all have put y'all 10,000 hours into. Right. Yeah. So it's like
he got him on his feet.
Right. Yeah, so it's like if you put your 10, like I don't want to know what you like. There has to be. I asked that question because when I talk to artists, like in all different like mediums of art, like whether you're a visual artist, a music artist, or anything like that, it's like when you get into whatever the equivalent of like writer's block is in your medium, it's like I always tell people to express your creativity in another medium, and you'll get inspired to do something within what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm always curious of like, what do you do outside of what you're really good at that like feeds this? Because you can't like if you're a creative person, you don't just do one thing.
No, it's fair.
It's almost impossible. So what is that for you?
Yeah, I'll probably say shoes and like just kind of like dressing.
Bree's the same way.
Huh?
I said Bree. My wife.
Oh
yeah. She's like I express myself like clothing. Like she's like a very expressive.
But no, I think that's it. I think when I really tap into it, and I find like the fits and stuff I really want to do, I feel like I'm expressing myself. Sometimes I'll be like holding back. I was like, I don't know if folk gonna be like that's kind of weird or they don't match or whatever. But it's like, I'm starting to get out of my comfort zone, and
I'm gonna call you out. Why are you self-conscious about that?
Cause it's just, I don't know. I don't even got an answer for that. Cause I guess I don't know. Cause growing up, I'm about to go. That's all I'm about to do. Like a song. You gotta put a little thought. Hold on a second. You gotta put a little thought. No, but like growing up on the south side, like
soft filter.
No, growing up on the south side, it was like. You had to dress like you didn't have to, but everybody dressed a certain way, and then we had like uniforms and all that stuff. So I think that locked my brain into like a certain way of like dressing. But I always see like people like Kanye, Pharrell, even like Tiana Taylor, like folk like that, that would just kind of like push the boundaries and like dressing. Like, I ain't about to like be in no like skirt or nothing like that, but it's just more so like kind of like not being too matchy sometimes, like. Just offsetting different colors and stuff like that. Like the fit you got on right now is like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not too like, but it's subtle like colors that's like
facts.
Perfectly like, you know what I'm saying? So like but stick the pan. Stick the pan, my G. No, he definitely got me on like the clothes though. But so like I don't know, but I gotta tap. For me, I just gotta tap more into it. Like people be like, he be pushing me more to do it.
I'm gonna say you got to. Did you ever go through a phase where it's like you stepped out and you was just like, it was one of I'm about to kill him with this one.
Yeah.
And you got roasted for it though. It's like, bro, what is like plot twist? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's like, oh yeah.
I think the worst feeling is like don't nobody say nothing. Like when you like.
You feel like if you when you walk out, if you took time to put it together and you walked out, you like somebody better say something about you, or I ain't do my job. Is that what it is? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this right now.
I know that sounds a little narcissistic, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if I got on new pair of kicks, I don't like attention, but like if somebody be like, "Oh, them drunks hard," I'll feel like accomplished something. That day.
I don't want to seem like I'm just coming at you, but you see, like it's a very like you seek validation.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, somewhat.
You seek validation in it, so it's like I understand, because there's certain things that I seek validation in, but I feel like I only seek validation in the stuff that I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
Like if I'm second guessing it because. For whatever reason, I don't feel like that's my area of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never gotten like if I feel like I can dress decently, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm just a visual person anyway. Mm-hmm. So like I put stuff together. It's like okay, cool, like splash color, boom, this like this, accent on this, such and such. Yeah. I'm into agriculture like that. I'm into like architecture and stuff like that. So it's like it's like a circle for me. But it's like all of those other areas that's not music, where it's kind of like you really can't tell me nothing when it comes to like I'm open to learning stuff, but it's kind of like I know my opinion is valid in certain things. And like fashion, I feel like there's so much stuff I don't know.
Yes,
that is like if I say something or if I do something that I feel like is fire, it's like it might not be.
Yeah. Because like literally, bro, like when I put on an outfit, like I just go to him and ask, like, is it like this look cool? And like he'll tell like
this look cool.
Cause like
it's got splat right.
Cause I don't know, it's just for me, like I see what I want to look like, but I don't ever buy the right clothes. Or like I'll buy one piece and I don't have the rest to like match it. So like I'll be trying to just like put stuff
But
together.
that's me though. Like I never like I can't tell you the last time I bought like an outfit.
Yeah.
I never buy outfits. Like I don't buy clothes. I think people like the stuff I wear because I buy pieces.
Yeah, that's what I learned. You got to buy like, pieces literally, like, and try to stay away from like the trendy stuff too. Yeah, because that junk.
To be honest with you, I really couldn't even tell you what's trendy. Like the only thing I know, which I don't know where we're at on things, like
no, it's
like we
crazy
can't like the
now.
set. Like I think we went through like we're going through like a 70s, 80s resurgence with like the like. Niggas not gonna say it. They not gonna say they wearing parachute pants, but they wearing parachute pants.
I seen Justin Bieber. His joints was like swallowing his shoes.
Yeah, like, you feel me? Like, but that's the thing. Like, it's like me. I like my jeans to fall like right on.
Nah, me too, bro.
Like it's just, maybe it's. I feel like it might be a DMV thing in me.
Nah. I go like a little baggy, but it gotta be like
it might be like because I feel like where I came from, like in Virginia, like I'm low key from the hype beast era.
Oh, like Bape and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like Supreme.
Yeah. So it's like the skate
for real.
Yeah, so it's like the skateboarder fit. Type vibe is like it just makes sense to me. I just add like other culture to like that aesthetic in my mind. But that's where I'll be at though. So we tackled experience. What was the second word?
Express.
But that was through creativity, and the last one was
expose.
So thank you. You're coming up with all of my questions today. Exposure. How are you? Let me backtrack. If you had to pick 3 things, top of your list that you have been exposed to in your life that have fed or poured into who you are as a creative now, what would those 3 things be?
A loaded question.
It could be experience. It could be experiences. It could be words. It could be
people.
Yes.
Okay.
Off rip, I already know your dad comes. So that take 1. So both of y'all got 2 apiece.
That's a good question. I'm such an out of sight, out of mind type person, so it'd be hard to like bring those memories back.
Nah, I feel you. But if you think about, cause like for me, if I really sit there, cause I'm a reverse engineer person. Like I never like think of like the beginning to now. I think of the now and then what makes it up.
That makes sense.
So it's like me, my DNA as a creative is spontaneous, but it's only spontaneous based off of like my grandma's words of like always remember there's more than one road that leads to the city. Right? So like she pounded like to this day, like that's like whenever I'm coming in, whenever I have a problem, I have an issue, like I'm trying to get something done, I'm thinking of an idea, but I'm just not figuring it out. It's always like there's more than one road that leads to the city. Like the road you might be trying to take may not be the way that you're gonna have to take a scenic route. You're gonna have to take a detour somewhere, but you can still get to your destination. So I think that's one of the defining like quotes that kind of makes up my mental as far as how I approach stuff, because I'm always thinking of a different way to get to the same spot. Like oh you like these, but you ain't seen these with these.
Right.
Like I know you like ones, but you ain't seen like when the last time you seen like ones with the such and such. Like I'm gonna throw the fat laces in these ones or something. Like you know what I mean? Like just random like anything that like I've always been like the customizable like anything custom like where you can where it gives you the blueprint of like how like what you need to add, and I'm just thinking of like the most like all right, I know it has to have an upper, but
that makes sense.
Let's make it ostrich like or something like you know what I mean, like maybe random like how far outside of the box can I go with that? So that's like one of like my builds up as a creative that I think feeds into me. Another one would be I really aspired to be like, I don't even know how to say this without like it sounding how it's gonna sound, but like I really like to be bougie, like in the like, but bougie like in the sense of like I like leisure, I like
Oh, I get what you're saying.
yeah, I like peace. Like I feel like peace is bougie.
Wow, that makes sense.
Like you know what I mean. I like so it's like all of my stuff is like it's gonna be simple. Like I think there was another quote. It was dang. It was conceptually deep, aesthetically simple. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, it does. No, because like when you say that, because like I've always had like a not a problem, but like I never understood certain brands. Like for instance, like take like Supreme for instance, and like one of my homeboys, shout out to Quan, like he's like into fashion and stuff like that, so he had to like break it down to me. I never understood like why people be going so crazy over Supreme. Like you know how they was selling bricks with just Supreme on it. They could just slap Supreme on anything and like people just go crazy over it. But I didn't understand it. But he broke it down to me and it's like no, they're not buying like just the logo. They buying the concept and everything else that comes like from it.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just like it's a lifestyle. Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle brand. Yeah.
So like that's why people buy into it. So like that's what it made me think about that. Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's kind of like how I approach a lot of stuff. It's kind of like throw everything at the wall, see what sticks, and then strip away all the unnecessariness and see what you left with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gave you two. Y'all still ain't give me one.
Yeah, so I got one. So, but it kind of led. I was able to kind of create a quote off of it, like for myself. So, like I guess like kind of going back to like high school and middle school. Like, I mean, I feel like everybody say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's like cliche, but like, I felt like a little different than just the inner crowd. I guess you could say. Like where everybody was on Future and all that. I was listening to Robert Glasper, Snarky Puppy, and all this other stuff. Like in high school, it like nobody, I can't show the homies like, hey, bro, you trying to, you heard this new Snarky Puppy? Like it's like, bro, get that out of my face. Like it was a select few. Right, they on that Roscoe Dash and all that stuff. Shout out to them too, but it's like it was a select few homies that we could like experience that with. But like, as a mass, like everybody was on that, Roscoe Dash and all that other stuff. But like, I started to understand at a younger age that like, oh no, there's other sounds and other like concepts out there that can lead you to like a more condensed version of like a jazz fusion like Snarky Puppy. You know what I'm saying? And you could implement these elements into like, hip hop and all that stuff. And it doesn't have to be on that like grander scale, like you know what I'm saying. So like I started to understand it at a younger age to where it's like, oh, I can take this path and have like these undertones in my music, and you know what I'm saying. It just doesn't have to be like what's popping or what's on the radio now or whatever. So, but it kind of led me to like this quote that I kind of live by. I actually got it tatted too. Like it's weird until proven cool.
Weird until proven cool.
That's dope. So it's just like this thing of like everything's gonna have like its time to shine at one point. Like back in the day, like for instance, like I don't know if it was like this in VA, but like for instance, if you had on New Balances in like middle school and high school, like niggas would clown you for that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they was rocking with the.
I was saying they rock New Balances now.
Yeah,
I mean, but New Balance is a thing now. For
sure. But like back in the day, it wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, back in the day, it wasn't really a thing. Back in the day, like it was.
I was rocking like
A6. It was like A6 and like phone posits. Yeah, like Saucony's and phone posits for the most part.
But yeah, if we rock that down here, they'll be like, bro, what you got on your feet?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, but now seeing it kind of flip, and it's like, okay, now everybody kind of rocking with their New Balances, the A6 and stuff like that. They had their moments and times where it's like they'll pop in, pop out. But it's like, just seeing that with just fashion, and then as far as like the rapper style, like now, like emo kids used to be like, the bottom of the totem pole when it came to high school, but then now you got like
there was a man named Cuddy.
You said what?
I said, and there was a man named Cuddy.
You know what I'm saying?
Kid
Like,
Cudi changed that whole
No,
story.
he did.
I feel like he was the catalyst of.
No, you
that.
right. You right. And it's just like everybody's mind kind of switched. So it's like,
Yeah.
like I said, just going back to it, like wait until proven cool. Like everybody gonna have their moment. So it's like just live in your, you know, in your actual truth for it. Like,
I
so
feel it. What about you, Jordan?
That's one.
I think I don't know if I could sum it up to like a actual like saying or whatever, but I think it was one DJ gig me and Giles had, and what was it? It was where a thing like only like maybe like a few people were dancing. No, it was this older lady that was like just dancing, cause it was like younger like kids whatever. So they don't really dance nowadays. But she was like before when we were setting up, I could tell she was kind of going through it. And then like later on through the night, like we started just playing like older stuff just for her, and she was like really having like a good time. Like before, I would be like super self-conscious, like, dang, I'm a trash DJ. So you know what I'm saying? And then I just realized
we gonna deal with that. Okay, I promise you, we gonna deal with that.
No, I really do.
We're gonna touch on that. I feel like as I said,
And you just hit us with the therapy session.
It's really something in this cover, isn't it? But no. So like, but I kind of like, I guess, just more so like lived in the moment, and I looked at her and she was just like smiling, dancing. I was like, wait, no, that's the goal right there. No matter if it's one person or like the whole, you know, like event dancing, like that's the like she probably went home like in better like a better spirit and all that stuff. So like after that, I kind of start using that towards like all the stuff that I do, like to where I remove myself from the experience, and then I guess allow my gift or whatever to kind of speak for me. So I'm not like super like self-conscious of like seeking validation. It's hard sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
No, I just bro.
Like,
I'm picking on you as someone who like.
No, I get it. Yeah.
And but it's a very like I feel like you have to talk about that stuff more because there's so many people that deal with that.
Yeah.
So it's like if you sit there and act like you the only person that go through it, then everybody just gonna continue going through it because you feel like it's just you. Like, you feel isolated. That's why you feel self-conscious because like you feel isolated. But it's like, you know what? This is normal.
Facts, man.
Like this is normal as a mug. Like now, what are we gonna do about it? Like either we gonna get through. Like I can pack up and go home. Not gonna do that.
Got 2 more hours.
Right, I got 2 more hours. Or I can say, oh, none of y'all dancing anywhere. I'm about to play my vibes. Like, like it's just about to be me in the DJ party by myself in the booth. Like, I don't care what y'all doing. Y'all already, the deposit already hit. Y'all already, like
shoes already purchased.
Shoes already purchased. Like it depends. Like it's all perspective. Like for me, but given that though, what are if any, what are some things that you feel like if you're conscious of them at all right now? Some things that you feel like either have yet to be or need to be exposed creatively.
You said the need to be exposed.
Yeah, because we were just talking about like what you've been exposed to and like how it like feeds into your creativity and like kind of like how you're built as a creative. But like going through that and like being like doing what we've been doing for years, like what do you want to see from your creativity, or what do you want to see put out into the world now from this point?
You had something?
No, you good.
I think for me, which like I'll be trying to hide behind it, but I think I want to start like singing a little bit more.
I think I want. Like laughing.
Yeah, because it's just a thing of like I knew that I could sing like ever since I was like younger, but I think just me having to kind of perform for people, that's the thing that kind of I'm self-conscious. So it's just like because bro, like I just don't like people like staring at me. Like they just be weird. Like I could just be like in a room with one person. And I'll just be doing these runs, blah, blah.
You talking about performing, though?
Yeah, but even
You want to
if
perform more, or you want to sing more?
I just want to sing more, which might lead to me performing more. But I just really
feel
just
that.
want to put myself out there singing more. Cause
I feel like you're getting ahead of yourself, but I feel you.
what you mean?
Just sing. You got to sing more first.
Yeah, I know. So and that's the thing I'm trying to like work on, cause I know like it's just I have to get comfortable with people seeing me in that light, cause that's like a very, I don't know why it's so vulnerable for me, but that's like a very vulnerable space. So
Yeah,
that's one thing I'm trying to.
Because you don't have nothing to hide behind that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
When you're doing all the production, it's kind of like your name is just there.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I'm gonna put my face.
No face. Like
Yeah.
I can post a picture of my abstract art and just throw the beat on it and just be like, all right, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, bro. So that's one.
I feel it. What do you think needs to be exposed as far as like, is there anything conversational wise, like topics, things that you feel like need to be put out that you haven't seen? Like what are you feel like you missing?
That's a good question. Oh, so I've been heavy on like asking questions that we don't really know the answers to a lot. Just kind of like putting it out there more. So like I'm heavy on just like, you know, like what happens after this, or like, you know, like just things to where like I feel like now in our day and age, like we so kind of disconnected from, like we kind of try to run from it in a sense of like no, there is, it's kind of dark, but there's gonna come a time where like we all gonna die, or these things are gonna happen. So like I like to kind of like dissect reality to where like kind of pull it back and just look at what it is for what it is, like versus just like all of these kind of like fake layers that we put on top of it. You know what I'm saying? I like to kind of pull it back and just
explain a little. Let's play with this idea a little bit.
Yeah.
What aspect of that do you feel like is missing? In conversation.
So for instance, like we got a song with shout out to Deshaun. We got a song. It's me and Jordan featured on it. It's called Wonder, and like on the song I mentioned like certain things about like the afterlife. Like I wonder what happens after this. Like, or what if it's even space in heaven for me to go there? Like, or what if it's a vacant spot now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just things that kind of like come to my head in the sense of like, yeah, I mean I still got faith in God, but it's like I still had these thoughts, and I feel like other people do. They just don't talk about it in the music to where it's like, you know, and nothing against like Christian music or any other type of music, but like, you know, they just want people to have faith, keep a smile on your face. But it's like, nah, like Negroes out here kind of scared of like what's gonna happen after this. Like, so it's just things like that, just like kind of making people think about like life in a more deeper way versus just like it's just always gonna be all right, or it's just like, oh, I could just go buy me this or try to create this and I'll be okay with it. It's like, nah, let's think about it. Like, so
just to we're gonna go religious a little bit.
Okay.
I was trying to say,
Yeah.
But we're also at the HBUC. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here in the Black community, right?
Yeah.
Let's
go into it.
In the Black community, and I had this conversation with somebody. It's even within Christianity, because I'm Christian. Even within like our praise and worship, if you experience praise and worship in a Black church versus praise and worship in a white church or any other type of church, right? It's different, and I'm not even talking from the musicality. Our conversation that I had was praise and worship in the Black church always comes from a unworthy space.
Yeah.
Praise and worship in the Black church always comes from I could have been such and such, but God. I always, or like when there was no way, such and such and such and such and such. Like, fill me up, Lord. Like, I'm here. Like, just I see such and such and such. If you go to a white church, it is, God, you are so great. Your mercies, such and such. Today is. Like, you know what I mean? It's always from an abundant place. Like, we are abundant, Lord. It's like, thank you, Lord, for your, like, you know what I mean? It's never, and I noticed that jumping around from like, cause we do like church consulting and stuff with like AV and stuff. So like I've been in a few different churches where it's like I've experienced their praise and worship, and like that's kind of what brought up the conversation. It's like we're so, for lack of a better term, we're so conditioned to be.
No,
Come in, tap in, bro.
I'm just waiting till you get your.
I
I
might
get canceled for what I'm about to say.
Let's talk about it, bro.
Tap in. Feel free, please. What's on your mind? But yeah, that's pretty much like why?
So,
Bro, just say it, bro.
no, so like, cause I guess once I got older, cause we grew up in church like our whole life, so we seen like the behind the scenes stuff, you know, and all that stuff. I'm glad I was able to, cause shout out to the church I go to now, Embassy City. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Brian Meadows, Apostle Brian Meadows, First Lady Patrice Meadows. The reason why I love the church so much is because he doesn't teach like from that type of place. It's like and he's very like intellectual to where he knows how to break it down, break the word down to you to where it makes like sense to like your life instead of it just being like the cliche stuff. Like he'll talk about like stuff that's like real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and it's mainly, I ain't gonna throw out no denominations or whatever, because I don't really believe in denominations. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, you both believe in Jesus and all that stuff, you should be straight, but we ain't gonna get into it.
Right.
But I think it stems from, you know, what we use, you know, that like a lot of the hymns and stuff stem and came from slavery. You know what I'm saying? And it was more so like, it's more so like if you don't, you'll never experience freedom. I feel like if you're always like thinking that it's not achievable. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll never, especially if somebody's telling you.
Hold up, back up. That was a gym.
I'm saying like
you'll never. I need to
Tim Westwood. I'm saying
drop some clues bombs for them.
No, so like
what you say? Hold up. You said my man said you'll never experience freedom if you always feel like it's not accessible.
Yeah, like it's really like a mindset thing. Like you said, like, and then I think a lot of people miss like out on blessings too because they just asking God like, "Hey, save me," but it's like, "Hey, like you already there. Like you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to keep. That's your mind.
What do we do from this point?
Exactly. That's your mind, kind of like telling you like, "Oh, dang, you just sinned last night. Oh, no, you can't do this." Because bro, I used to think the same way, bro. Like, but it's really all in just like, I think it's a humility thing too. Like you really gotta humble yourself. Some folk be, I mean, I would say some folk. I deal with it too, like the pride thing where you like, dang, I'm like, you'll be too prideful to admit that you're wrong to him, even though he know you wrong already. And then you just kind of get stuck in that cycle of like, oh, I'm sorry. So it's like,
I think it. What are you about to say?
I was just gonna say too, like, and this for like a lot of areas in life or just like environments. Like just going back to the like, that's why I rock with you so much, bro. Cause like each environment I see you in, you the same. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, fact.
And every time I go into a space, like that's the people I always like connect with. Like it don't feel like you putting on like this. Like code switching type stuff.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like you don't be.
Shout out to my dad. My dad, that's my dad.
Yeah, nah, bro. Cause like
my dad is like, whatever room I'm in, I'm gonna be Brent Hayes. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Nobody can pay me to not.
Right. So like, and I struggle with that so much in the sense of like when I enter a room and I feel like people kind of putting on like a front. I struggle with that so much because it's like, bro, like you don't act like that outside of this. Like I ain't saying you supposed to disrespect like the space that you in. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not about to say I'm gonna go in church and be cussing up a storm or whatever. You know what I'm saying. But it's just a thing of like just be real. And that's the thing I like. Like let's just talk about it like straight up. Like let's not try to like make this a show or like for entertainment or like you know what I'm saying. Like be real with me. Like I don't need that.
Agreed.
So that's all.
I think I brought that up only because like to what you were saying was the questioning the what if.
Yeah.
Right. The what if that we don't have answers for yet. And this is where I'm a play devil's advocate. What you're saying. Why does our I'm not even going to generalize it.
Oh, I got you.
It's not a because it's not a general thing. I don't want to seem like it's a more times than not. But when we do, why are our typically people's first what ifs are negative? Right. Like it's rarely that you have a conversation with somebody and with like genuine like emotion or like something where you feel like you have to say something, and it's like, what if something amazing happens? Like, what if like
you
like you know what I'm saying? What if after this I get to like I can look at the whole world at one time and like you thought you could teleport, but now you can teleport, like type thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Like or something like whatever you can fathom, like, and that's always the like I listen to a lot of like motivational speakers and stuff like that, and a common denominator is like going into any situation, going into any goal, going into any just anything you're trying to achieve with the best results possible in mind. Like, and keeping your focus on the best possible outcome. Like you, of course, you have to like prepare for other stuff to happen. For what's the word I'm looking for?
Prepare for like shortcomings or failures,
it's
trials and tribulations.
It's not it. It's I can't think of the word right now.
Prepare for the worst.
No, like contingencies.
So
like you have to. So it's like you have to prepare, like in the planning process. It's like you have to prepare for contingencies. Like everything is not going to go as planned. Even like I saw something like in the Marines, like when they teach the Marines and like your first mission or whatever that you go out on, right? They drop you in the middle of nowhere. And they say, the first thing we're going to show you is abort the mission. Like, you have to be prepared for, like, we did all of this planning, and we landed where we're supposed to land, and none of that matters. What do you do from that point?
That's true.
Dang.
So it's like, if you plan from, like, that perspective, and it's kind of like, all right, now I know what to do if none of this goes right. Then I can go into it with the plan that I do have, looking at only the best possible outcome. And if something goes off, but it doesn't ruin my plan, then I'm still good. Like I'm still like in the green, because I can still carry out the same plan that I had before I got here. Like it's just a small contingency. So it's like, but they teach that in the Marines. It's like we dropped you in the middle of the desert, abort mission. Everything, when all else fails, like
and that's the thing. Like, I've been trying to like create that balance in life, because like I've noticed like every time I like look at it in a negative space, more negative things happen.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, when I'm kind of like in this very blissful space about something, like say like my day going like swell, you know what I'm saying? And like I'm just in like this la la land, something crazy happened and it's just like it knocked me off of that high, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I started to notice like, no, it's not that you can't like enjoy life. It's just like you have to make sure that you like balance out like the highs and the lows. Like it's not always about just being happy all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw you tweeted something. You was like, I don't want to mess up how you said it, but you like, I'm not okay right now. But you just tweeted today.
Sometimes I'm not okay, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I literally had to like realize that in life, it's like it's not for me. Me not feeling okay is not for me to just beat myself up about it and just keep spiraling down into like these negative thoughts. Like, well, since you feel like this, you might as well bring up like something that happened 10 years that's gonna make you feel even worse. Like, it's not about that. It's a thing of like, okay, I don't feel okay, but let me continue with the mindset of like, okay, but I'm gonna be better. You know what I'm saying? And then get back into that middle space and like if I do have a win that day, be like, thank God, you know what I'm saying? I'm grateful, but balance myself back out because every time I get into this space of just like, oh, I'm the one, whatever, you know, start bucking up, you know what I'm saying? You need to work on this later. But yeah, so look away. But yeah, so like, but every time I do that, like for example, we was at a gig one time, and this when we first like started DJing, and like we was just getting so many like DJ gigs, and we was just like we was playing our own stuff, like flips and stuff, and so like for this particular gig, like I just felt like kind of cocky a little bit, and I'm not that type of person, so I was feeling cocky.
Feel like you had it in the bag.
Yeah, like I'm just chilling, like it's gonna go swell. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I keep saying swell, but so
painting, bro.
But yeah, but literally right before we were supposed to go up, I think it was sound check. Like our board started messing up, and like I know this was God. He was like, "Hey, bro, humble yourself."
He said, "You smelling yourself?"
Yeah, I was like, "All right, I get it." And after I kind of like settled back in, like everything went good. But it's just like I've noticed like in life, it's just a thing of like just finding that middle ground, like not just being humble.
Not to cut you off, but
no, you good.
The book that I said y'all need to read. It taught like it looks like it's about something that it's not about. It talks about the whole book is about ego, right? So and it just explained the book I'm referring to is A New Earth, by Eckhart Tolle. But I feel like that middle ground that you are trying to find is what he explains the ego to be almost, and it's kind of like your ego is not you. Like your ego is a separate entity that craves to like grow and feed on you identifying it. If that makes sense.
No,
right. So it said. So he goes on to say like you are not your ego. Your actual true self is the observation of your ego. So like who you are as a person is whatever that observation is, not the actual ego. So like if you're in a situation and something is happening and like you react to that and you feel a certain way and you have a conversation and you identify yourself as being whatever that situation is, that's pure ego.
Wow.
The thought in your mind that identifies what that is you.
That makes sense.
If that makes sense.
Because it's trying to bring you back.
Yeah, you feel me? It's like ego seeks for validation. Ego seeks for like you to be like, yes, I identity. Like I identify as this. Like I started like being around like people and like I really started reading this book. Like I really started like locking into like people's like language and like their word choice. Like there's certain people that just be like I could wake up and just be like, I'm skinny, right? But that I'm putting an identity on myself. Like I'm not skinny. Like I feel like I'm skinny. So like if I in my mind, if I'm the person that's thinking about this before it comes out of my mouth, that's me. The identity of that is ego.
Makes sense.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So in those situations, it's not like I need to step back and I need to like necessarily humble myself. I just need to not identify with whatever that is. Like I can go into this situation very confident, but as long as I don't identify with that person, that entity, then I'm gonna be good.
Cause it's blinding, bro.
As long as
it's like driving like this.
As long as I don't take on the personification of whatever that thought is, then I'm gonna be good. Like I can sit there and I can observe it. I can move around it all day.
Yeah.
Like I can choose to like acknowledge and know that it exists. But like I don't have to identify with that. Like
it's crazy.
To feel sad and to be sad is two different things. It's like I can be like, okay, cool. Like, and I just read this yesterday in the book. It was like the difference between instinct and emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like instinct is what happens to your the physical body when something happens to you, right? The physicality of what happens is instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Your emotion is how you like the physical feeling of what happens to you is instinct. The feeling of the thought is emotion.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm.
How you feel about the thought of something is the emotion side of it. So you have to learn how to separate the instinct from the emotion. And it's like I think the example that you gave is like if somebody told you that their car got stolen, you would feel differently than if somebody said your car got stolen.
Oh.
It's the same sentence, but when you replace mine in it and you identify with the situation, you now attach emotion to it. You're not going to react the same way as if somebody says their car got stolen.
That's true.
A car still got stolen. So, like, emotion aside, you should feel the same.
Oh, no, that's true. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Right.
I think you just answered.
Just
gotta sip on that.
Then we tap into the. we gonna touch on that.
Right. Tap into the inner child.
We gonna touch on that. But yeah, it's a bit like it's deep, and I'm only like halfway through like the book. Like I'm on like chapter 5 out of like 12. But to bring this back around, because we got super off of creativity. But I feel like all of that. I feel like everything we talked about is what makes creatives. We are like over analytical, like human beings,
right.
like living a spiritual experience.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh no,
because it's when I understood like what side of the spectrum I was on, like it gave me so much like
side of the spectrum
wisdom.
as far as what break that down.
So you had consumer and you had producer, right?
Facts.
So like we of course on the production side, and then you have people that's 100% consumers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, and kind of going back to the weird until proven cool, like it's this thing of like consumers kind of move with whatever the pace of what production is. So like how in the 70s it was a certain type of music that was being made, which then made people dress a certain type of way, which made people have a certain type of dialogue, all that stuff. And now we fast forward, the music is totally different and people dress a certain type of way, the dialogue is different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like on the production side, we pretty much control the identity of like community, all this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
So it's like once I understood that, I was like, dang, like I'm trying to see where I was trying to go with it.
I'm telling you, it's like we are tastemakers. It's like we have this kind of like if I'm gonna be the person that's setting the tone, I can't be influenced by the tone that I'm trying to do. It's like I'm supposed to be the person that's like making this okay. Like I can't be too bought into stuff not being okay that I can't make it okay because I'm a tastemaker. Like I'm the production side. I'm not the consumer. Like me being in my feelings is me being a consumer of whatever's happening, and that's not what that's not the side of the spectrum we're on.
Right. So it's like a struggle.
Talk to us, brother Jordan. You have something to say over there.
No, it's I can't
like,
even,
what doors are you opening over there? Because you are opening like
I'm trying to wrap. I'm trying to wrap my mind. You did this joke to me the last time.
This man done opened about 3 doors over there.
That boy ready for altar call, ain't he? If there's one out there.
Talk to us though. What you feeling though? What's on your mind?
No, because it's crazy because I had a conversation with a homegirl and we was talking about just certain things about like, you know, I'm not gonna go too far into it, but it was like, you know, like racism, the relationship between like, you know, black and white people, maybe the whites that are racist, or not the whites, I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. The Caucasian people that might be racist or whatever. And we was talking about like how we should have, I was saying there should be some form of conversation to where it's not aggressive on both sides, to where both sides have to humble themselves in some form of way. But no, when you said, what was it? Oh, dang, I just forgot it. Just about how to split, like, the ego and then what you identify as, and then,
Or who you really are.
yeah, and then just
your perception of whatever is happening.
yeah, so, like, it's just, now seeing that, I feel like that was the answer that I was trying to explain to her, like, because I feel like if from both sides, if we see what we are identifying as, so I'll just take it from the black person perspective, where when we talk about the freedom thing, like, if you see yourself, or if you identify as like, oh dang, I'm not gonna ever be free, like, that's the only thing you could kind of, that's the only thing that's gonna grow in a sense in your life, I guess, in a sense, from that perspective. But if you see like freedom, and I guess how you saying identify with it, then that's what I'm saying. I'm still trying to.
It will still turn.
It's still turning, but yeah, no, yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But no, I ain't mean to go to that. I don't want to go to that tangent because I might get canceled. But I'm trying not to get canceled, bro. But yeah.
Podcast is the space where that happens.
Exactly.
I don't care about getting canceled,
I'm about to say podcast. I feel like is the one platform, one space that we have now where it's kind of like you say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, no, fact.
It's like if you can't say it on a podcast, it's like these are for the people that feel like us. If you don't feel like us, then
yeah, and then too, like if you don't speak your mind, bro, you just fall into that.
Right.
Because bro, we
on the other side.
It's like you got to know how you feel. You can't be afraid to. You can't be afraid to be on one side of an opinion.
Yeah.
It's like my opinion exists, but my opinion, I don't impose my opinion on other people's. I just understand that. I just understand and accept that this is where I stand. But I don't feel like you standing on that side of this opinion doesn't make us less.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
as long as you ain't like radical about it. You know
that's it.
Yeah, as long as you don't pose your opinion on me, then we're good. Because I'm going to feel how I feel. Like, we can have a completely different opinion on whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, just agree to disagree. Like, or whatever the case may be. That doesn't mean that we can't go play ball after this or go have lunch or something like that. Because you like Italian? Me too, bet.
You like Italian?
Like, I mean, that's what it is. Like, let's find common ground. Like, I feel like we spend too much time on, like, what makes us different.
Right.
What makes us, like, be able to work together for a common goal. Which, like I was thinking about that when I was watching. Y'all seen Jay-Z and Kevin Hart interview?
No, I'm still check it out. I've seen some snippets.
Yeah, you gotta check that out though. But Kevin Hart was just talking about like the space that they're in now, like having high level conversations, being in a place where they're trying, like they see in the near future, like them, like their table or small circle of friends being able to sit down on one idea and get one thing done. Like not having like a long agenda of like the possibilities of what we could do or whatever, such and such. It's like, let's have a meeting, let's sit down at a table and let's execute one idea. And like the type of power that those people have, whatever that one thing is, could be life changing.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like if they all put like their energy to like one specific goal and use all of their separate resources to get one thing done, like it's gonna get done.
Yeah.
So I feel that way with like, especially us in the creative, I don't even know what to call it. Like, you know what I mean? Like our world of creativity and like fellow creatives, it's like, how can we start having more conversations about like what our differences are, only with the goal of knowing what your strong suits are, not how we're different. Like, I want to know how you specifically feel about certain things so we can know how you can play a role in one idea.
Right, yeah.
Like,
it's weird because people be trying to stand out, but for like the wrong reasons.
Yeah, people like, and that's ego. I learned that too. That's ego. There's two sides of like, most people see ego as being a greater than thing. Like, but ego can exist as greater than or less than. If you feel like I'm not worthy, that's still ego.
True. I didn't know that. It's crazy because
because you're still identifying as.
Oh, because it's just really based off identity.
It's literally based off of Like you
sense now.
putting an identity on something and you personifying that as being your myself. Like you are not one idea. Like it was talking about like thinking. Like he said, like to say you think something is crazy because thinking happens to you. You don't think. Like that's like saying like I digested something. Like your body just died. Like your body does things.
Oh, it's like an involuntary
Yeah,
thing.
it's an involuntary thing. Like you
Yeah.
can't stop.
I get you. You can only change what you think about, but you can't.
You can only
stop the
think
fact
about
that
you can only change. You can only change how you operate within what you think, which is the ego. So like if you're thinking something, going back to that point, like if something crosses your mind and you're like, that shit is wild, like, you know what I mean? The person that said that's wild is you. The thought is not you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like,
I get
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about. It's kind of like you are not like the idea. The idea is a separate entity. Like you don't have to like be the idea.
Sense. That makes sense.
Like,
No, I had to adapt to that because like I ain't gonna lie, I used to have like very like I guess like dark thoughts, and then they would like because it'll be you had certain memories from like your past that were very like either embarrassing or just like dang I should have did that differently.
Yeah.
And for me, they always come up when I'm like at a low point. So I was like, oh, you feeling bad today? All right, babe, we gonna replay this. You remember this time? You remember this time?
Yeah, but you can't dwell on those things.
Yeah, so now it's like not that I just push them back to the back of my head, but it's just like I literally let them kind of relive themselves in my head, but like play them from a point of like taking a lesson from it versus me reliving the emotion of, you know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just a thing of like, okay, so I did this, so what should have I have done differently?
Then so I can do it differently.
Yeah, so
that makes sense. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Yeah. But we all go through it.
I think I got a third.
Let's go. Let's go. Tap in.
I remember Tierra, our homegirl from high school. Yeah. I forgot how we got on this conversation. We was just talking about being. I just said something like, "I'm just trying to be different," and then she said like, "Well, if everybody trying to be different, does that still make you different?" So like with me, I think it was more so like, don't try, just be. So like how you saying with the validation thing, I feel like even you trying to be different, it's still like, hey y'all, am I different enough?
Right, am I different? Exactly. Right.
Should I cut this leg off? Am I different enough? Like, so I think that joke really like hit when she said that. I was like, oh shoot.
That's real.
She was in high school. I was like, she's doing pretty well for herself right now. So
yeah, that's kind of like I forgot what the saying was. It's like if everybody's special, no one is.
Yeah, something along the lines of that. Yeah, that joke hit hard, bro.
Yeah, everybody want to feel special. No, I feel it, but I feel like if you have that much, if you put the weight of how you feel about yourself at that high of a standard, then it don't matter.
Yeah.
If you like, however I wish the love of my life, whoever I see that in. For me, I have a wife, so I can say that. But whoever that person is, whatever you're looking for them to feel about you, if you don't feel that way about yourself, then it's like,
dang. No, bro, that's facts though, because it's like it's crazy. Like, did I cut you off?
No.
Okay. It's crazy because like moments when I'm just kind of like being myself, which I identify myself as just kind of like cool, calm, and I just like I'm very observant, and I add to the experience or where I'm at. Like I'll add to the environment, but not overtake it. Like I kind of go with the flow of things, but make sure like I'm still like my presence is still felt, but not to a point to where it's like, hey, look at me. Like that's me in my natural state. But moments when I was trying to like be seen or kind of come off as like wanting to be seen but not wanting to be seen at the same time. That makes sense. Like, you know, like you walk into a room and like you got those people that like they might dress a certain way, but they don't talk to nobody. Like they just be fly or whatever, but they just don't talk to nobody. So, but everybody seeing them walking through, but they just not approachable. Like, so it'll be like that type.
You want to be approachable.
Yeah, I do, but it was like it'll be moments where I wasn't being approachable because like I just didn't know who I was at the moment. But I know myself in the sense of like, no, I'm the nice dude that's approachable and very humble, and like I kind of go with the feel of the room. So like once I really tapped into that, when I tap into that energy, it's like people see me in a different light, and they like, oh no, like you know you like actually a cool person. You just you know, so it's just like, you know, knowing your space and knowing you.
I feel that. I got another angle to that, and I'm not going to make this too long because I want to wrap this up. Because y'all going to have to come back and have another conversation.
Oh, and then I got my third too, so we
can. Right. Just to tap on what you were saying as far as like knowing who you are in the room. What I've learned, and it's less of a learned thing. I guess it's learned, but what I've come to like accept about myself and how I, not even necessarily how I would like to be perceived, but the impact that I want to leave on other people, as well as understanding what my personal goals are and what I'm trying to get out of like every situation that I go into. First of all, I had to identify what I'm trying to get out of every situation, because a lot of times in the past I would see myself going into a room because I feel like I'm supposed to be there because it's the thing to do, but not identifying with what I can get out of it prior to being in that room. Like I just be there and just see what happens, type thing. But that's not always conducive. Like sometimes like some good things come out of that. Other times you miss what you could have gotten out of that because you didn't define what that was for you. But within being seen and being felt, I used to be like very timid and like underspoken and not necessarily speak my mind. But I've gotten a lot more comfortable with, for lack of better terms, confrontation. But not confrontation as far as like combativeness, but confrontation as in like I know my intentions are from a good place. I know that I'm a good person. So if I aim to I guess like equalize a situation for it to be conducive for my personal energy, then I don't feel in the wrong. Like I feel like, all right, if something's happening, I feel like this shouldn't be happening right now. If I have the power to be like, hey, let's do this instead of that, then I'm gonna speak up. Or I have an idea that could probably make this a lot more conducive for the situation, or be more goal oriented to what we're trying to get accomplished, or something like that. I'm gonna speak up, and then hopefully there's somebody else where it's kind of like because I don't ever want to be in a room where my opinion weighs too much. Like I like to be around people that's kind of like, I don't think so.
Like a little pushback.
Like a little push. Even if you agree with me, just like I would like to hear like, don't just agree with me. Tell me why you agree with me.
No,
like
I get that.
Like that could work because if we do that, then such and such and such and such and such or whatever. Like, oh yeah, bet for sure. Run it.
That makes sense.
Or something like that. Or like, nah, because if we do that, then 3 steps down the road or whatever, such and such might happen or whatever. Then I'm like, okay, cool. But like, I've Trav, one of the owners, shout out to Trav, owner at HBC. Every morning he tweets, God is great, guard your space. Right. Every day, like faithfully. And like for me, it's like going into those rooms, I've been more conscious about guarding my energy. So within guarding my energy, I have to check the energy in the room. So like I can't even be present in a room with bad energy.
Makes sense.
So like if I'm a fly on the wall and I'm underspoken and I'm not speaking up because I don't want to be that person that's like such and such, and it seems like I need to be heard, then either more time, if I'm not going to speak up, I don't need to be there.
Because I was going to say,
you know what I mean?
That make a lot of sense. No, because like, because I always wanted to, because I think I was, when we was at, the fashion show for,
Dopenorteria?
Yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them. I just observe, cause I just be observing, but like with you like still, you quiet, but you like still know how to like conduct like productive conversations. It's not just cause you know how some people just be doing like, so how's the kids, and you ain't, and he never met the baby boy. So it's like you know how to like, you know what I'm saying, conduct. So I just observed that, and yeah, I always, cause for me, I feel like it's just a lot of times I'll be, if I don't really have nothing to say, I'll just kind of just duck back and just chill. But like when you just said like, if you kind of, I mean, if you don't have nothing can kind of contribute to the situation, then it's not. You kind of just there for no reason.
You just got it there for no reason. But that's how it is. Like, and I think I got that energy from like, it's my humbled down version of what commercial studios is like. Like when you get to like a high level of like being in certain like studio sessions and stuff, like they're really like studio like label sessions and stuff. They're really particular about who's in the session. Like y'all know this. Like this. Like
oh yeah, I remember that time.
Like, you know what I mean? They're very particular. Like if you don't have a role in this room, like why are you here?
That makes sense.
If you're not contributing to the energy of the room, why are you here?
That's the worst feeling too. Like
that's the word. Like if somebody come in and they vibe just off, it's kind of like, bro, like get this. Like, bro.
Cause it was one time we was like interning for this producer, and he brought us into the session, and they was already in the process of recording, and everybody had a seat, so me and John had to like stand up, and bro, this is the most embarrassing. Like we was standing up like in the corner just like this, and then this one lady was like, "Hey, like y'all saying cool, but just for like future reference, don't ever like stand over somebody's shoulder." Because it looks suspicious. Bro, like I felt so like small and like, bro, that was like the most awkward way to go.
It'd be like that. But yeah, like that's I just wanted to tap on that because my perspective on that is that like because I come from being that person in the room and kind of like understated, like everybody, like if you don't know me, then you wouldn't know me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you would have to know me before I came in the room for me to not say anything.
That makes sense.
But if I don't know anybody in the room, I always say this, like the only thing that ever makes me uncomfortable in the room is somebody else uncomfortable.
Facts. Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, if there's somebody that look uncomfortable in the room, I'm talking to them.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like I walk in, hey, what's going on, man? Like how you feeling? Like seem a little awkward over here. But it's like you be like people expect like it goes like that with like even when you talking to like even when it comes to like talking to women, like we're all heterosexual people here. So it's like talking to women like respect you being real with them. No,
facts. I've learned like it took me a minute to learn that, but
it's like bro, like I'd rather just keep it a buck with me, please. Like I'd rather like my wife told me, she was like, bro, cheat on me and tell me. Like I'm saying, like that, like you know, just like be like own your stuff. Like if that's what you own, that's what you own. Like you don't ever want to keep somebody around having to be not what you own. Like if this is what I'm on, like I need to tell you this is what I'm on, because if you're gonna be here, you eventually gonna have to deal with this. So either you're gonna choose to deal with it from Jump Street, or you can go ahead and save yourself the time and decide you don't want to deal with it. So like for me, I'd approach like nobody in my eyes, nobody's special. Going back to this, nobody's special. You over here looking awkward, sending stuff in there, like, hey, what's going on? You looking awkward over there.
And it's crazy, bro, because it's like. You breaking down that book, like telling me about like the identity. Like I think a lot of times when I go into rooms, I be connecting with people's like ego versus like them.
Oh, them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You see everybody ego on display.
Yeah, it's like that's, like that code switching stuff, bro. And that's what I battle with when I go out, because it's like I'm me. Like once I wake up, like I don't put on no type of coat or like no superhero coat or nothing like that. It's just
sleep giant, different story.
You said what, sleep? right. Just be the superhero shit in my dream. But yeah, so I always identify or communicate with their ego versus trying to like.
Man, I never communicate with ego.
Yeah.
I almost will call you out. Me, And people in sessions, I'm always refer back to studio sessions because that's where I live at.
Yeah.
But I always get that I have a really good way of explaining stuff to people. Like people tell me. So it's like I can tell somebody about themselves without it sounding like I'm telling you about them yourself. So like I don't know where that comes from. I'll probably get it from my mom, maybe, cause she's slick too. But it's like I'll call somebody out on their ego, but without like identifying it. Like if you talking from a place of ego, like you just say something that sound like head ass. I'll sit there and like I'll joke like you gonna get roasted. Like oh this.
Like you said something on Twitter, you was like, I hate when people say no cap.
Yeah, bro. If you say no cap, I can't trust
that type energy.
Yeah. If you say no cap, I can't trust you, bro. It's like why you feel the need to, like, bro, like if that's in your, especially if that's in your like people have like it's in your vocabulary, your regular vocabulary. Yeah. Like you just say that habitually, like. Why?
You trying to make somebody believe?
Like you just need to be felt. Like there's an underlying issue that we're not gonna tap into right now. But like people say stuff like that, and then like I'll ask them a direct question that like goes around the ego, like how they feel about something. Like they might say something. Oh, that shit's hard. I don't know. You can't do nothing but deal with it. Like, so like how you gonna deal? How you gonna deal with this right now? Like you can't be like all of that. Everything else go out the window. Like so, I be waiting to see how you rather like. I'll say something and I'll just be like,
nice to actually meet you now.
Nice to actually meet you. Now we here. Now you here. Welcome to the session.
They over there crying and shit.
Now that you showed up, everybody clap it up. Such and such in the building. Cool, let's have some fun now. Like let loose. Like let your shoulders down. Your shoulders, you too. Like drop your shoulders a little bit. Like you uptight right now. We can't get nowhere. Yeah. But yeah. I don't even have any closing remarks. I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you, bro.
Another like super dope conversation.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah. Like I was like, I know I wasn't gonna try to redo the last conversation, but I was like, we just gonna see where this goes. Yeah. But dope conversation. I want to try to have like, I don't want this to be like like I had a special guest and then it's like you only hear like I almost wanted to turn into like a hey, like we're gonna drop in on you such and such and such.
Oh,
like we can have returning like so y'all are always welcome. Come back. It's like Breakfast Club. Like
I got you.
Like you know. Like,
you know, respect on my name.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like come through. Y'all are welcome. Y'all are officially like Caffeine and Creatives, like alumni in a way. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like y'all family in the community. I'm gonna try to get like something like to make that more like official. Like I don't know how I'm gonna work that out yet, but we're gonna get it together. But tell people where they can find you at so we can have it on there.
Yes, sir. So you can follow us at Dopenorteria. That's DOPENORTERIA. I got it right on the first time.
Yes, sir.
So that's on everything. So
yeah.
Facts. And then y'all have y'all separate handles on the Dopenorteria page?
No, we don't.
You don't?
No,
So,
yeah, we do.
Yeah,
it's in the bio, so.
It's in the bio, yeah. So that's
we just do that.
Cause I know it's like underscore.
Yeah. My junk got hacked. I got two.
Hacked and So yeah, just go follow the Dopenorteria page. Follow them separately. Dope people, dope producers. Tap in with them on a personal level. Like if anybody you see on Caffeine and Creatives, I want you to tap in with them because they're good people, not because you care about what they got going on. Because that's what this is. This conversation is like tap in with the people. Don't tap in with the personification.
Hey,
don't tap in with the identity.
Amen.
Tap in with the people. So that might be my new slogan.
Yeah, that's hard. We getting somewhere.
We getting somewhere. Caffeine and Creatives, make sure you're following us on Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube page. I'm going to have all that stuff on here at Caffeine and Creatives spelled out. Follow me at x.wave, eks.wav. And we out.
Hey.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, G.
Coming in.